Hi, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Margaux with Margaux. Happy Friday. Happy April 3rd. And thank you for joining me for another fun filled episode of Margaux with Margaux. Hi. Hope you had a wonderful day. Let's just go ahead and get a toast in real quick. This is my glass and my favorite glass and a glass Margaux. So let's toast to a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me for a wonderful episode. Hi, everyone. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely wonderful. Just a really great glass of wine. Thank you guys for joining me. Don't you feel like you really aged this week a little bit more? I mean, it doesn't feel like it was just a week. It feels like it was actually like a year. There is so many different things going on at the same time. I don't know about you, but it's been pretty hectic. I'm fixing my hair because I can see it in the thing. And I hate to say this, but if you could look better and straighten things a little bit, you would do that as well. It's been one of those weeks, really hectic, nonstop, lots of lots of great coronavirus news, which is so impactful. Um, and I read a lot and I see a lot of the newscasts, so I really have a really good pulse on what's happening. But it's a little daunting. First off, I just want to say I'm very sorry to hear about the additional loss of life today as regard to coronavirus and what's going on, obviously, around the country, but especially what's going on in New York. I just wanted to, um, just say, wow, I'm just very sorry for anyone who's suffered a loss um, as a result of coronavirus epidemic, whether you're here in the States or around the world. It can't be a very, very tough thing to go through to lose someone you care about and love. I don't know that pain, and I really truly feel sad to hear about the loss of human life. Um, Also, I really would like to send good thoughts and prayers for anyone who has coronavirus, who is suffering. My heart and prayer go out to you as well. And I think everyone on this broadcast that's listening to me, we send our healing thoughts, positive messages towards you, and we wish you a speedy recovery and to get through what is called one of the most difficult things in our history, American history, especially that we're going through. So, I just want to say I'm sorry for those who are gone, and I send my heart to those who are in the hospital or suffering from coronavirus. So there you go. Gosh, just tough. Um, let's go ahead and I just want to make a few comments today. We really have to face the reality of what we're really up against. I think the idea that someone's going to save you and make your life better. I think the truth of the matter is you're going to have to face the hard reality is we're going through a shift and a change and a period of time where if you have a lot on your plate, a lot of responsibilities, and you're running a business, you really have to grow up. This is really the time when, if you ever thought about joining the military, you have to see yourself as recruited into the United States military. And once you're able to take care of yourself and your family, we all need to pitch in and help each other. And it could just be the most simplest things. It could be maybe making a couple of masks at home and give to a couple of friends. It could be going shopping for one of your neighbors that's elderly. And you can do this carefully. If you go to the store late at night, early in the morning, wear gloves. When you're handling money, because I don't know if you know this, coronavirus can stay on money and coins. I recommend doing a full, once you go to a store and you come home, take everything off. Um, Realize the money can be dirty, maybe not even handle cash if you don't have to, and just be very, very mindful. But if you and each of us who is listening to me can help save or help one person, maybe it's teaching a person how to download apps because they want to speak to their kids, maybe helping someone with getting Facebook stored on their phone or iPhone or whatever the case may be. There's all little things that we all can do to help each other. and support each other if after you've taken care of yourself and of course your family that's dependent on you. As a citizen, there's always a little bit more we can do. I want to share with you, there's been a lot of issues with Zoom. Apparently it's Zoom is a service, it's a video app where it's a calling app where everybody can look at each other, and it's a really good app. I recommend using Jitsi Meet. Jitsi Meet is Jitsi, no, yeah, Jitsi Meet, and use Jitsi Meet as an app. Boy, I see something on my screen. I didn't even see that before. Boy, there's a little bit of a mark on the screen. So I'm going to move over just a little bit of my screen here. It's really interesting. I was trying to get it off. It doesn't seem like I can kind of get it off, but it looks like I have an extra pimple or something. So please disregard. This is what you do when you're doing a live show. It looks like I have something on my face, which I do not. So that's kind of funny. I'm trying to get rid of it. Doesn't appear that I can get rid of it. Gosh, it's really bad. Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm going to try to remove this little bit of a thing I have on the screen there. I think that's much better. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Slowly fixing it. Did that help? I think that helped a little bit. Okay, so I just want to point out that if there's anything you can do to help other people, there's a really good app you can use. It's a video app called Jitsi Meet, Jitsi Meet, Jitsi Meet, and you should use it instead of Zoom. It's a cryptic. I use it a lot, and I'll post it on my different accounts, and that way you can see and use it. It's a really good alternative in order to use Zoom. It's a cryptic. It doesn't go through China, which is a really good point, because apparently Zoom main headquarters in China, and so there have been reports. Obviously, it's a report that they can hack or listen in or have your data. So just be very mindful if you do decide to use Zoom. I also have to point out something. What we're going through is just completely devastating. And I can't say it enough. I think acknowledging your true feelings, saying how you really feel, whether that's anger, whether there's frustration or hurt, you have to get it out of you. You can exercise, meditate, talk to family and friends, and really just be there for someone. Sometimes you just need someone to just call and you both can complain together. Just get on the phone and say, oh my God, my day was just pretty horrible. How was your day? It was pretty horrible. You get it off your chest and then you're able to go on, because what we're going through historically, personally, in our country, in the economy, is one of the toughest things that we all could face. And my heart goes out to everyone who is going through a really difficult time. I'm also thinking that psychologists and psychiatrists should have hotlines or group talks on people who are going through a hard time, because sometimes you need someone more professional, and it's obviously a psychologist or psychiatrist is way too busy, but they can ask questions. It could be sort of a question thing. If I had that background, if I was a psychiatrist or a psychiatrist, I would do that an hour a day just to do what I can to support other people, what they're going through and their feelings and anxiety and fear. Fear is a really huge thing. I have to really reel it in. And stay in the moment and say things are going to get better. Because let's suppose two scenarios. I'm in a fearful state and things do get better. Then I kind of wasted my time being afraid and being fearful, right? If I spend too much time in this sort of state of fear, because I think, what if things work out just wonderful, right? Okay, what if things work out worse than I think and I'm in a fearful state? Well, it's still better to not be as fearful, right? Because in the moment, you can have a better experience in life. And maybe you're a better person to be around at this point. Maybe you can offer help if you're not in a fearful state. So it's always a win to not succumb to this overbearing feeling of fear, which is a feeling of loss of control, which is what we're all are facing. And it's difficult to say to people, hey, things are going to be okay. But I do that all the time. Hey, things are good, because it really does no good to be negative, spread negativity, tell everybody to be afraid. There's really no point. It is what it is. We're in this together, and we just have to work through it. I do feel like each day I'm becoming a better person because of it, because I'm having to face certain things about I think the best thing is I have to face my own limitations, correct? Right? Because you realize you don't have as much control. This thing on the screen is really awkward. You don't have as much control as you like to believe you have about your life. There's so many factors you don't have control, and the only thing you have control over is yourself. So it's best to be positive, be loving, and be in the moment. Did you watch the presidential coronavirus update? What were your thoughts on it? I actually thought it was really good. Um, it's not an easy thing. I think if we keep talking about masks and ventilators every day, we know there's not enough. I don't think they want to share with us all the exact numbers because it's a moving target. It's just that we need them now, and we got to do what we can to get them. So that's basically seems to be the really big argument. The other big discussion that is always of interest. Okay, this is another couple of things I wanted to talk about as well. Hazardous pay for healthcare workers. That's something people are talking about. I'm hoping they do it for healthcare workers. They do it for bus drivers. They do it for people who work in the store. The companies will get more employees that are willing to risk their lives if they have this kind of extra pay. They would take the risk. So that's something to consider. Also, the White House stated they will pay for the hospital bill for all coronavirus patients. I think this is something they're working on. I'm sure they're not there yet, but this is something that they're discussing and seriously would like to do. 3M was a really big discussion. 3M is this big company out of Minnesota that makes not ventilator, but mask. And apparently they had clients outside the United States, and of course, the clients outside the United States were paying more than we're paying here in the US. And the question becomes, if you're a worldwide company, you have different offices and you have employees, do you take the business that's overseas at the cost of not giving those masks to someone here in the United States? Is that a good thing? Is profit more important at this moment than taking care of our American citizens? That's an interesting question. I do have to point something out. About a month ago, when this first thing started happening, especially in other countries, I was approached to say, hey, Margaux, would you like to help get ventilators and also masks and also a lot of different things that were needed at the beginning of the coronavirus crisis? They were asking me to get involved. I didn't want to get involved. I felt that I knew that it was going to hit here in the United States, and I knew that those ventilators, masks would be needed here. And I just didn't want to be a part of that whole business structure at all. And I backed away from it. That was just my personal feeling. Maybe I missed out on a good financial moment, but to me personally, it just was something I just didn't want to be a part of. I did not want to be a part of maybe some equipment, buy or sell equipment to someone in another country that someone here in the United States may need. I just didn't want that on my conscience, nor did I feel good about it. I just felt that they should give the product to the hospitals for free. That was just my opinion of the whole thing. Now they're talking about wearing masks. I talked about it over the last week. I thought it was important. Then they're stating that what they know now is that you can get coronavirus just by speaking to someone. So if you're standing next to me and I'm talking to you, there's a possibility you get coronavirus. There's another person who updated that coronavirus can stay in the air. So if you're behind someone in the store or you're in another location and someone stood there and had coronavirus and you walk in that kind of air, there's a possibility you can catch it there as well. So I recommend wearing a mask, and I recommend telling everyone in your family to wear a mask. Obviously, this is volunteer. We don't want to make it necessary for you to buy a mask or have a mask. You can make masks at home through maybe some old clothing that you have around. You can just cut up something, a scarf, and just throw it on. Some protection is better than no protection. I would do it if I were you. This is just my recommendation. Certainly it's up to you. But if you're near me, I have to tell you this. If you're near me and you're in a grocery store and you're coming toward me without a mask, I probably will move away. So if you see me in a store and I'm moving away from you because you don't have a mask, you know why. So wear a mask. I just think it's healthy for everyone. Another thing is let me just go ahead and give you the symptoms really quick of coronavirus, because we talk about that a lot. Persistent pain, oppression in the chest, confusion, inability, blush lips. Now, if you find that you're in a situation where you believe you have coronavirus, I would talk to my doctor immediately. I'm not a medical person. This is just information I found and what I've listened to. If it was me. If it was me, first step, call the doctor. Second step, if I couldn't get my doctor on the phone and I felt my symptoms were mild and I was concerned it'd get worse, I hate to say this, I probably exaggerate how bad my symptoms are so I can see the hot doctor right away. I don't want to really recommend that, but if I'm serious and I think my whole life is on the line, I'm willing to try anything, honestly. That's just my opinion. And try to get the help that I need. Another good thing to do is to work on boosting your immune system. And how do you know your immune system is great? You know because of the way your body functions. Your skin is clear. You're regularly going to the restroom. Your body feels strong, and you don't feel weak or anything. There's a couple things that I do. I don't know if this is something. There's a lot of debate if any of this stuff works, but I'm just going to share with you what I do. I do a lot of oil pulling, and oil pulling is basically putting oil in my mouth and getting the bacteria out of my mouth. I use different types of oil. Right now, I'm using coconut oil, virgin coconut oil. So the first thing I do in the morning is take the oil, swish it around in my mouth for about 20 minutes, and I spit it out. I also take apple cider vinegar every day. I just put like a teaspoon apple cider vinegar. I drink that first thing in the morning, which I think is great. And I usually drink another glass of water as well because I know that when you sleep at night, you're dehydrated. So I drink another glass of water, and that sort of starts the whole day going. I do drink a lot of vegetable juice, celery juice. I sometimes do with plain just celery juice, and sometimes I do with different vegetables. It sort of depends. I also take a lot of herbs, and I think what I'll do is talk about those herbs at a later date. But that's just to give you a little bit of stuff that I do on my own. And I think the most important thing is to have a good attitude. You got to laugh. Watch a comedy. Suppose you're just absolutely depressed. You're paralyzed with fear. Put on a comedy. Snap you out of it every time. Go outside, backyard, open the front door, open the yard, stare at a flower, stare at the beauty of the sky, look at how beautiful the earth is for us to enjoy. Take away your thoughts from that. Focus on the moment. You're going to be okay. So those are kind of the things I think about. I also want to share with you, which I've mentioned a few times, is that the coronavirus can live on different things. Like, for instance, surgical gloves, it can stay on for 8 hours. Steel, it can stay on for 48 hours. Wood, 4 days. Glass, 4 days. Paper, 4 to 5 days. Plastic, 5 days. So you have to be mindful that anything that comes into your home, you got to ask yourself, is there a possibility coronavirus could be on that product, and do something about it? Wipe it off, move it away. I don't know, but that's how I think. I think of my home as this peaceful territory, and anything from the outside world, I protect. They come in, I'm very mindful. What's wrong with it? What do I need to do? What I need to change, and I take care of it. This month is National Poetry Month, so I just started reading some more poetry. When I find some more good stuff to share, I'm going to share more poetry. Another idea is to cook, or to work on your yard. Those are two things that I'm working on as well. As far as investments, I was thinking I didn't want to talk about it too much, but I think what I'll do is talk about one thing we're looking for right now is disruptive technology. So if you have any technology that will change millions of people's lives and you need a partner or you need an investor, I could be that person. Hi. Send it to graceandky@gmail.com, like a one-page summary. It's enough to get our attention, and then we'll reach out to you if we're interested. Give us time, because sometimes we're so busy, another week, maybe a week to 2 weeks before we respond. Another thing is we're seeking gold mines, but we're going to wait and focus on gold mines in May is what we're going to do. So those are two businesses. If you want to know what I'm working on, those and you want to get involved, there you go. Hi. I wanted to go over movies and TV shows. I'm catching up on a lot of stuff right now, but there's two movies that are both produced by Netflix that are really good. One is Klaus, came out in 2019. Last year, it was one of the best animated films I saw last year. You can see it now if you have Netflix. Klaus, Klaus. Really good feel-good movie you can see with the family and kids. Has good morals, good values, something positive that you can share with your children and feel loved and bring you together to talk. So Klaus is one. I also love this other Netflix show, which was called movie was called Okja, Okja. It came out in 2017. It's a really, really another really good film. It was directed. I'm moving you around because I see this thing on my camera. It's by Korean director Bong Joon-ho, who of course did Parasite. It's about a young South Korean girl for 10 years serves as a caretaker and companion of Okja, which is this really like this big pig-like animal. It's really the cutest film ever. But it's another family film that you can see with your family. And it has really good morals and values and all that good stuff. Because I like stuff that are positive and uplifting. So those are two movies that I think you would possibly enjoy. Also, there's been another interesting comment. This is going back to the coronavirus. There is a particular dosage of a product that's really good, that's been shown to work. It's hydrochloroquine. Okay, so hydrochloroquine is the most highly effective therapy from the doctors are currently using to fight coronavirus. This was an article written in the Washington Times by Valerie Richardson. International poll of more than 6,000 doctors released Thursday found that anti-malaria drug hydrochloroquine was the most highly rated treatment for the novel coronavirus. It says the survey was completed by Sermo, a global healthcare polling company of 6,227 physicians in 30 countries, found that 37% of those treating COVID-19 rated hydroxychloroquine as the most effective therapy from a list of 15 options. So there you go. There's some really good information there that you can share as well. But people, just be careful if you're out there this weekend. Stay at least 6 feet away from everyone. I recommend covering. I cover a lot. Cover your face. You want to protect your health. Your health is all that we have in this world. And I want you to continue to tune in and check me out. So I will be here Monday at 7 p.m. and we can talk and hang out and grab some wine. One of the industries that's really booming right now is the alcohol industry. So I'm right on target, huh? So it's really nice. Just want to say hello again. It was just important that we love and be there for one another. I think that's the most important thing, is to love each other, be there, laugh together, reach out to friends, do some FaceTime. Use this app called Jitsi Meet, Jitsi Meet. It's really good. You can do just voice or FaceTime. It's like Zoom, but it's cryptic. It's very good. And you can download the app on your iPhone or your Samsung. And you can usually find, it's called Jitsi Meet, Jitsi Meet. As far as the requirements of wearing a mask, always go to coronavirus.gov. And it can give you some information there as well. But the most important thing is protect yourself, protect your family, have a positive attitude. I read a really good book many, many years ago. It's a classic book by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It may not be, you may feel like, why would I want to read a book? Would that make me feel better about my life situation? I think reading the book will give you hope. I think it sort of restores the human awareness that we're deeply, we're all connected. I mean, we're all here together. We're all breathe the same air and we're all one. And it just reemphasizes that we're all so connected. Hasn't it happened to you that you wanted something in life, you were thinking of someone and they called you? Or there's just no coincidence. There's even no coincidence you're tuning into me. So I appreciate it. But I'm hoping that there's a reason and a purpose that you're connecting with me and you're tuning in, and I hope you continue to do so. There's also another little good point. I always thought if I had my own show, would make this really good point, and this would be the point that I've always think about a lot. Is they always mention why are not blacks or women paid more? This is really, they always have statistically 60% of women earn 60% of the dollar of a male earns, right? You hear those statistics. The reason why is you just have to hire one. There are plenty of really smart black really, really smart women that just need an opportunity to shine. People can grow into roles. People can learn and change. If they have a good mind and a good intellect and are willing to listen, people can grow into a different position in life. And you have to give people a chance. The person may not look in the kind of package that you think a person needs in, but if they have the intellect, the drive, the smarts, quick learner, give them a chance and pay them. So there you go. Problem solved. Then how do you pay blacks or women more? There you go. Problem solved. That was easy, huh? So Monday we'll be back at 7 p.m. I hope that I have more positive news to share. I do think this hydrochloroquine is a really good promised medicine that we're using right now. I don't know how effective, which I don't have those numbers with me. I'm hoping by next week we have a little bit more information on why that's the truth. You have to keep in mind, even though the federal government is doing what they can and everybody's doing, this is a time that as a family and as a unit you pull together like ever before. So if there's a sister or brother you haven't spoken to, give them a call. If there's friends that you haven't spoken to in years, give them a call. If there's a person who helped you in your life 25 years ago, go find them on Facebook and say, hi, how you doing? And tell them that you appreciate them and you love them and thank you for all the goodness you gave me in my life. Maybe it was just a person was just there for you at a moment's notice and you never saw them again. Call them, say hi, show some humanity and reach out to people. Makes you feel better too, because they'll say, hey, how are you doing? And you're like, well, this is what I'm doing, right? That's what's happened to me. And it's been a really fascinating experience and it's been good. So every day I talk to someone I haven't spoken to in a while, someone who's reaching out. So it's all good. And we're all going to be here together. We're all going to win this thing. Keep in mind, reading statistics, this thing can last a lot longer than we ever can imagine. One, two, how long it's going to take, years to recover. So you've got to come up with a plan, a month, 6 months, a year. Worst case scenario, what can I do? You have to think of a really effective plan. I think looking at this as a short run is not the best way. Better have a long-term plan. And then if that doesn't happen, then you already have this other plan, because day to day, all the information changes. We're still learning so much about what this coronavirus is, how it works, how bad it is. It's just, we're still in the unknown territory and we're all navigating this together. So, but as Americans and as people, we're going to beat this thing because we're strong, we're vigilant, we're powerful, and we make choices of how we want to feel each day and we fight for a better day. And I'm just encouraging you that we're all in this together. It's like being in the army. We wake up each day and we just keep plugging along till we get to the end of the road. So thank you again for joining me for another fun episode of Margaux with Margaux. Love you guys. Have a good weekend. Have fun.